Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Big up to everyone that's locked in on Chelsea Fan TV as always, and welcome to a slightly earlier daily transfer update, guys. First things first, make sure you smash the likes on both streams. Make sure you subscribe to both channels if you haven't done so already, and make sure you get involved in the chat as well, guys. Make sure you let me know where you're tuning in from and all that sort of thing. And as always, there's plenty to get into with Chelsea. Last night we had a little bit late last night, around 10 o'clock time, we had news coming through that Chelsea and Brighton are now progressing on the Moises Caicedo deal, discussing the payments for the fixed part of the deal. So we're slowly moving along on that deal. Got the latest Romelu Lukaku. There's 3 interested clubs in him. Obviously Chelsea have told Inter that their 30 million euros offer is serious, but it's still below what they want for the Belgians. So yeah, we're progressing slowly on that one. We had reported interest from PSG in Kepa, considered alongside Hugo Lloris and David De Gea as a potential new goalkeeper there, whether it's to replace Donnarumma or whether it's to replace Keylor Navas, whatever it is. Reportedly from L'Equipe, very reliable in France, that Kepa is on the list at PSG. So let's wait and see what happens on that front as well. We've got latest on the captain, the run for the captain. Frank Lampard's been speaking on the Diary of a CEO podcast. Had some interesting things to say on there. So we'll be diving into that as well. And then taking all your questions as well in the chat, guys. So let's get this show on the road. Let's say hello to a few people. See what's happening. Shavindra, big up, my guy. I hope you're good. Daniel, hope you're doing well. If Chelsea sells Kepa to PSG, I'd be happy to swap deal. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Nenad, big up. Hope you're good. Terrell Gunner TV, hope you're doing well. Footy Edits, hope all's good. News on Vince about Rayan Cherki. Yeah, Chelsea reportedly leading the race for Rayan Cherki ahead of AC Milan in the queue for this one. So let's kind of wait and see what happens on that, how it progresses. Reportedly around the 40 million euros mark, could be a bit more. With add-ons as well, but around 40 million pounds 40 million euros even for Rayan Cherki. So yeah, again, I think that could be a decent deal, but there's no real new updates on that one at this point in time, guys. So yeah, we got to wait and see. Things are progressing slowly, but we're still kind of waiting for that kind of firework moment. We're still waiting for a big incoming. We're still waiting on that Caicedo. We're still waiting on maybe a new goalkeeper, a centre forward. But I think, to be honest, guys, as we were saying on the show last night, which one's that? Well, the one I'm wearing, this training top from last season. Yeah, quite nice. Or do you mean one of the ones that's hung up? Yeah, so we are still waiting for that sort of big incoming that we've been wanting for a while now, but. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's getting closer, but I don't think we're going to have too much before the season starts. Unfortunately, sort of the season starts, even before pre-season starts. Fucking hell, we weren't having much before the season starts. We would be banging trouble. But yeah, I think we're going to be having not too much going on before pre-season starts. We jet off on Monday. It's already into Thursday afternoon. So yeah, for me, it looks like Caicedo should get done. But I don't think it will be done before we jet off on Monday. Hopefully we can get it done, whilst we're out in America potentially. But yeah, any other incomings, unless we're working silently behind the scenes on something, I can't see anything major being announced until realistically we're back from preseason. I think we'll assess what we've got in preseason, and then Pochettino will make a decision from that point, thinking, right, do we need more? What positions do we need more in? Who's impressed? What areas have I thought I had enough in, but actually maybe I don't? And yeah, that's the way that I sort of think it's coming. Think it's going. Sorry. Yeah, I think Caicedo will get done eventually. It's just taken a long time, but I do think it will get done. We might as well get it straight. We might as well get straight into that now. Come last night, Fabrizio Romano in one of his YouTube videos saying, that it is slowly moving along. Chelsea and Brighton are now discussing the payment for the fixed part of the Moises Caicedo deal. Sources say Chelsea want to close the deal at 70 million with some add-ons. Brighton say no, and something more is needed. Conversations are ongoing and the deal is moving forward, but work is needed. So it's basically on the fixed part. So how much money is going to be up front? And I think as we were alluding to last night on the show, like the hold up is going to be how much of that money is paid up front and how many installments it's going to be paid in. You know, I think Brighton are going to want as much of it up front as possible. Chelsea are going to want to get away with paying as little of it up front as possible. And there's going to be some negotiating on that, some back and forth, and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I think, look, to be honest, I think this will get done. I think Chelsea may have to pay a little bit more than they wanted to at the beginning potentially, but some players you've just got to break the bank for. You sometimes you just got to pay more than you want to and accept that, you know what, yeah, ideally we don't want to be paying this much, but we're desperate. We need this player. He's a top player. He can instantly improve our midfield. It's a partner of Enzo Fernandez, allows him to operate higher up the pitch. And, you know, it could be a really good partnership that forms between the two of them. So, yeah, look, if we have to pay a bit more, let's just do it and get it done. I think £80 million with the majority of it up front could possibly get the deal done. But again, like don't potentially rule out 100 million, but with more preferable payment terms as well. Like, yes, you know, paying 80 million is obviously far more preferable than 100 million. But if more of that 80 million's up front, then actually it doesn't look as good on the books for Chelsea in that point of view. So yeah, look, no major updates in regards to Caicedo. We've got a little bit, but nothing too much as far as I'm concerned in terms of newsworthy stuff to be diving into. Nothing that we've not really already covered in the previous shows. We just are making some slow progress here, but it's edging closer. And I'd like to think that maybe tomorrow, over the weekend, into the start of next week, that we might be able to get, you know, a little bit further down the line on this one. We just got to make sure that we get it done. That's the biggest thing. You know, you just got to make sure that it gets done, and it's kind of it literally is as simple as that. You know, obviously we don't want to take too long. I mean, concerns Liverpool might come in. I'm not sure. Obviously, if Jordan Henderson goes to Saudi Arabia with Steven Gerrard, which it looks like it might happen, they've also got an offer on the table from Al Ittihad for Fabinho. So if another two go out, Liverpool will have some more funds to spend. I'm not saying that those players would get them Caicedo level of money, but it certainly halves the price for them at least. You wouldn't completely rule out them potentially coming in as well for Caicedo. So yeah, look, obviously we're in the driving seat on this one, and we just got to sit tight and be patient. That's the most annoying thing. There's nothing we can really do. We just got to sit tight and be patient on this one. Aubameyang's got offers from Saudi Arabia. I don't know how advanced anything is on that front, but yeah, he has got offers from Saudi. So yeah, there's Aubameyang should go to Saudi Arabia, hopefully at some point. Again, like Lukaku and like Ziyech, their return dates have been extended to July 17th, which is Monday, in a hope of getting them a move sorted out. So yeah, Aubameyang's got interest from Saudi. So let's see how that one materializes over the next few days. If PSG wants Kepa, then we are blessed. Why don't we sell him and get a good goalkeeper, get a better goalkeeper than him? Again, I don't know. We're going to get into this Kepa stuff. We will get into this. It's worth paying the extra 10 mil, just get Caicedo on the plane for the US. Yeah, I would agree on that. Because they want to make sure that the bid gets accepted. So they're sorting out the payment terms and finding out the exact fee that Brighton want. And then you avoid being drawn out into sort of a long negotiation process with multiple bids going in. You know, Chelsea don't want that. They just want to do one bid, get it done, and then move on to the next one. No new news from what we covered last night. Chelsea looking for around £25 million for a front of shirt sponsor for next season. In terms of who that might be, I don't really, at least publicly, we're not any closer. Maybe behind the scenes, they're making progress towards a deal. But yeah, at this point in time, there isn't anything new to add on that one, guys. Nothing new to add on a shirt sponsor. Maybe 80 million Caicedo. It would be good value for money to bring in Dele Alli. Look, obviously, I'm sure a lot of us have seen the interview with Dele. Fantastic thing that he's done then, and wishing him all the best in his recovery, and hopefully get to see him doing great things on a football pitch again. Because what a talent he was over the last few years. But look, I'm not sure if it really makes sense at all at this point in time. He's an unknown quantity at this point. He needs to get some football under his belt again, see if he can rediscover some of his form, and then you can begin to talk about him moving to maybe bigger clubs than Everton. But it would make sure Poch is serious about the job, as he also cares about. Yeah, he does care about him, and that's absolutely fine. But I don't think we should be jumping to conclusions for signing Dele Alli because of an interview that we've watched. I mean, that interview didn't come out today. No one's speaking about Chelsea signing Dele Alli. So, yeah, look, it's a no from me. He needs to get himself right again. It looks like he is getting himself right, and he needs to get himself fit, playing some football, and see what level he is at when he gets back on a football pitch. So, yeah, for me, it's a no. That's the reality of the situation. It's a no from me on that one. I think it's a no for a lot of Chelsea fans as well. Like it doesn't really make any footballing sense, because if it was a Dele Alli of sort of 4 or 5 years ago, absolutely. But this Dele Alli, you just don't know what you're going to get, and we can't really afford to take gambles like that. But I do hope he gets back to the level that he was at. Absolutely, I do hope he gets back to the level he was at, because he's a top player, great talent, and seemingly a great guy. Any news on Vlahovic? No, other than he's on Chelsea's list of strikers. Other than that, Juventus would want around 65-70 million pounds. Chelsea appreciates him. Pochettino likes him. At least one of the directors likes him as well. But other than that, there's no further news. There's no real updates on that one either. So yeah, let's wait and see kind of how that one pans out, people, on the Vlahovic thing. But I think that in regards to a centre forward, I don't envisage anything really happening until after pre-season on that front, because I think he'll assess what he's got within Nkunku, Jackson and Broja, and then from there make a decision. Look, am I happy to go with what I've got, or do we need more? Yeah, very slowly, very, very slowly. No to Ali interview change, nothing for me. Yeah, no. I look, Dele Alli is not a signing that Chelsea should be making at all. I hope we get signed some classic striker, Tony Vlahovic. No, I think Jackson will be good for Chelsea. Again, he's an unknown quantity. We're not really sure how well he's going to do, but I think he could. I think he could do well. I was saying it before the interview, after it was reported talks between him and Poch were taking place. Yeah, but this was just talks on a human level to make sure that he was all right, because they had a good relationship when they were together at Spurs, and people have kind of got wind of that and just kind of run with it and got a little bit carried away and think he's going to come to Chelsea. Why would Chelsea sign Ali? We just got rid of Deadwoods. Why would we buy? No, look, I absolutely agree. Like, this Dele Alli thing to Chelsea is kind of people just getting. It's getting a little bit carried away, to say the least. People, yeah, it's an absolute no. Yeah, Cherki absolutely is talented for sure. There's not really a major update on Rayan Cherki at this point in time, other than Chelsea obviously like him. They reportedly lead the race from AC Milan, who are also involved. But yeah, look, in terms of Moises Caicedo, guys, things are edging slowly closer, but emphasis on the slowly, because this is not a deal that's moving at any great pace, and these deals do take a reasonable amount of time to get done. So yeah, look, it's frustrating, it's annoying, but we are edging closer on Moises Caicedo, people. Yeah, Jackson has got the African Cup of Nations next year in January, so that would leave us with just Broja and Nkunku. But again, we could look to move for a striker in January as well. Anyway, there might be some. There might be some deals to be done in January. There could be better options on the market potentially in January as well, maybe. But yeah, obviously Jackson. If we don't sign anyone, then Jackson goes away for a month in January for the Cup of Nations. Then we obviously are quite short. Yeah, of course, theoretically speaking, yeah, if he was back to the level he was playing at before, then absolutely. But there's no guarantees that he gets back to that level. He's a long way from there. He's a long way from there. A cheap backup to Nkunku. Imagine we sell Lukaku to Inter for 30 mil and they sell him to Saudi for 60 mil next summer. You never know. But do you know what? It is what it is. Like, if that were to happen, then so be it. No, it's not our problem anymore. That's just kind of the reality of the situation. Not our problem once he's gone. Ivan Toney loan. We're not going to get Toney on a loan, but I think we could definitely sign him in January potentially. I think that's definitely an option that looks more plausible than it has done in recent times. In case the agreement is not reached by Caicedo, which option do you consider the best? Look, a lot of people talking about Palhinha from Fulham. Again, there's been no real concrete interest from them, from anyone in him. West Ham, I think, have been looking at him as a potential replacement for Declan Rice. But in terms of any Chelsea links or anyone else linked to Palhinha, there isn't anything at this point of time in the window. Let's wait and see. Cherky Dribbles. Yeah, look, Cherky's a good player, but I think what we need to do is move away from like thinking, oh, he's like Hazard-esque or whatever. There's no players like Eden Hazard. Cherky in his own right is very good. So yeah, you know, let's just leave it at that. This constant comparing and thinking, oh, he's like Eden Hazard. He's not really. So yeah, look, I think a talented boy, but let's keep our feet on the ground. Let's not get too carried away. If he comes to Chelsea, he's going to have a lot to learn, a lot to develop in his game. But I'm sure he could make a success of himself. So yeah, let's wait and see kind of on that front, people. No, I haven't got into Kepa to PSG yet. Why Chelsea could not get a striker on loan until January? Because what sort of striker are you going to get on loan? Realistically, you're not going to get anyone of any real quality to come on loan. That's the reality of the situation on that one. Look, I think I really like Ivan Toney. I think he's a good player. 20 Premier League goals in a Brentford side that is not the best. So yeah, look, I think it's a good. I think it's a good buy. His attributes suit Chelsea and and what have been successful in centre forwards in Chelsea in the past. He's a good finisher, left foot, right foot, heading, penalties are very good as well. Holds the ball up, good link up play. Like he ticks a lot of boxes. Premier League proven already, knows the league very well. Like he ticks a lot of the boxes, and it's I think it's absolutely. He would absolutely be a great signing for Chelsea. And I do feel that, and obviously it's a big if, but if the ban wasn't there, then this Toney to Chelsea could well have already been done or would be well on its way to being done. But unfortunately, yeah, that's not where we are at this point in time. And that's just the reality of the situation. But yeah, look, if Toney did come in January, then I think that would absolutely be a fantastic signing. I really do. Amrabat on loan, possible to buy. Look, Amrabat, I think, will end up going to Saudi Arabia or will go to Man United or Spurs. One of those three. But I don't think, from all the stuff that I've read and seen, there's no real links with Amrabat making a move to Chelsea. Imagine Caicedo, Enzo, and Tchouaméni, and yeah, I mean that could have very well been a possibility. We had the opportunity to sign Tchouaméni, but Tuchel said that he wasn't ready. Scott McLaughlin, the head scout at the time, also said that he wasn't ready, and they went for Saul Niguez instead. And the rest, as they say, is history. So we could well have had Tchouaméni lining up for us in midfield alongside Enzo, maybe with Caicedo as well. So yeah, look, it is obviously a huge disappointment that we missed out on him. There's no point dwelling on the past, though. We have to move on from that situation. But yeah, a real shame, really. That we obviously missed out on him, because it would have been great. It really would have been great. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, we've obviously missed out when we could have done pretty well to get him. It's getting annoying the amount of time needed to get the Caicedo deadline. Yeah, it is quite frustrating. There's no denying it. But as long as we end up getting our man, that is the most important thing, that we do get Moises Caicedo for sure. We must make sure that we get Caicedo, guys. We absolutely have to. What else have we got popping off here? Chelsea not getting Tchouaméni. Yeah, no, we're not getting Tchouaméni. No. Fabregas keeps saying for CFC to get Tchouaméni back. Then yeah, I know he was advising on it as well. But yeah, obviously they didn't listen, and they reportedly had better ideas. But yeah. The midfield's, is obviously it needs reinforcement. Hopefully, we can get this Caicedo deal over the line as quickly as possible, and then maybe we can look to bring one more in potentially. But unless Conor Gallagher leaves, I also wouldn't totally rule out it just being Caicedo and then us going with what we've got. in terms of Enzo, Caicedo, Gallagher, Santos, Chukwuemeka, and Cassidy, and I think one of those goes on loan, and then you deal with that in the rest of the squad. I mean, thinks someone asking what the latest on Romeo Lavia is. Yeah, Liverpool are interested, Arsenal interested, Chelsea also have an interest, but I think of the three clubs, Chelsea probably at the back of the queue for this one at this point in time. So yeah, let's wait and see. No real concrete updates from a Chelsea side on Romeo Lavia. I think with Henderson leaving for Liverpool, leaving Liverpool, I don't think Liverpool would be allowing Jordan Henderson to leave, potentially allowing Fabinho to leave as well, if they didn't have deals already at a quite advanced stage, waiting for those guys to leave and then quickly announcing that, look, we've signed Lavia or we've signed whoever it might be. So yeah, I expect that to happen. I expect that to happen quite quickly, really. We've just had some news from the Zarkin-Seller saying that Manchester City could target Levi Colwill if talks over Josko Gvardiol collapse. Let's hope that those talks don't collapse. I know we've maintained that he's not for sale, but yeah, you know, if City did come with a legit bid, then yeah, I'm not really sure what to think on that one. But yeah, let's move away from Caicedo, guys. Pice news, yeah, I've just read that. Louis, big up my guy. It's a bit worrying as time goes on how slow we are in transfers. Look, I think we can move pretty quickly in transfers. I just think deals that are this big always seem to take a long time. Like Declan Rice to Arsenal still isn't announced. Still not announced. So, you know, that was like, I think that was 2 weeks ago a fee was agreed now, and they still haven't announced him as a player. So like these big transfers do take time. From a fan perspective, absolutely it really is frustrating, but there's only so much you can do. What is Lavia value? I think but anywhere between 40 and 50 million pounds is the value of Romeo Lavia. That would be a disaster. Yeah, it would be. If City come for Cole, he might decide he wants to go again. But you have to look at it and you think, well, all right, even if Laporte left Manchester City, where's Colwill getting more minutes at City than he is at Chelsea? And the answer is, I don't think he is. You've got Ruben Diaz, you've got John Stones, you've got Akanji. Is he playing ahead of one of those? I don't think so. Look, I think he would get a decent amount of game time because they play in 4 different competitions. But yeah, look, I can't see it, but you just don't want to run that risk. Spain's Nico Williams' release clause is the same as what Lyon want for Cherki, 50 million. Yeah, look, I think Nico Williams, again, I don't know a great deal about him. I saw him a little bit at the World Cup. Decent kid, talented, but I don't think anywhere near as talented as Rayan Cherki is. So, yeah, look, I think Chelsea will probably end up moving the Cherki at some point in the coming weeks. But yeah, we just got to see. We just got to see what the situation is, people. We just got to see kind of how it all pans out, really, on that front. But yeah, in terms of midfield, no real updates to be had there. By the way, guys, keep smashing the likes as well, people. Let's get the likes up. I know it's a bit of an earlier time, not as big a numbers as normal at this time of the day. I normally go in the evening, but I've got plans tonight, and then obviously I'm away Friday, Saturday, so I didn't want to not do it, so I had to get it in. So yeah, the numbers aren't as good today because of this slightly earlier time slot. But people, for those of you that are in here, big up yourselves. Make sure you smash the likes on the stream. Let's get these likes up, guys, on both channels, and let's make sure we also subscribe to both channels if we haven't done so already, people. So I'm going to pop the link for my channel into the chat. Guys, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you also subscribe, people, to Chelsea Fan TV if you haven't done so already, and continue to run the likes up as well, guys. It does make a big difference. Only 50 of us locked in on Chelsea Fan TV. Obviously, I know Lewis is streaming at this time as well. Probably a lot of them over there. But yeah, guys, if you could keep smashing the likes and if you could subscribe to the channel, it would be massively appreciated. Right. Let's move on to the next story then. Let's talk about Romelu Lukaku very briefly. So, no, I appreciate that, Shavindra. Yeah, I appreciate that. It was good. It was good fun. Inter have told Chelsea they will offer 30 million euros plus add-ons for Romelu Lukaku. Chelsea want a total package in the range of 45 million, so around 40 million pounds. Talks ongoing with all parties wanting a resolution before Lukaku is due back for pre-season training on Monday. Benjic says Chelsea have 3 serious bidders for Lukaku and are continuing conversations with all of them. Inter is a viable option, but currently the lowest of the 3 bids and not yet at the level Chelsea are looking for. So obviously Lukaku's made it very clear that he's not coming back. He's also made it very clear that he only wants Inter. But at this point in time, Inter are the lowest of the 3 bidders. So, you know, they need to cough up. They probably wait. If they wait for that Anana money to come in, then, you know, for sure they have a bit more available and they could hopefully add to that prize pot. But at the same time, you know, time is running out a little bit for Inter, because they need to pay up. If they want this guy, pay up. It's as simple as that. I think we've reached a point now where we can't just afford to keep being mugged off by Inter Milan and you know, thinking that, we'll just accept one of their low offers. We absolutely aren't going to be accepting any low offers for Lukaku. We've got a figure in mind. If Inter want him and they desperately need him, then you pay up. Simple as that. You pay up. And that's the reality of it. You know, you pay up and it's as simple as that. I think this will eventually get done. This Lukaku does want it, but I think he will give consideration to Saudi Arabia. I can't see him going to Juventus. I think you'd only go to Juventus. Juventus would only sort of ignite their interest fully. I'm not saying they're not interested, but if Dusan Vlahovic were to leave, he's obviously a prime target for PSG as well. Then for sure, yeah, you know, I could see Juventus making a move for him. But at the same time, I just think I can't see him going to Juventus. Yes, we know, you know, he said he loves Chelsea and whatnot, and then he sort of wanted out almost straight away. But yeah, you know, I couldn't imagine him, after all he said about Inter and only wanting Inter, that he would suddenly go to Juventus. I think he'd actually probably rather end up in Saudi than going to Juve. Bowley and Egg Barley need to fly over to London to get some transfers done. It's been quiet for some time now. Yeah, I don't know what Bowley and Egg Barley are doing at this point in time, whether they're in America, whether they're obviously in the UK. I'm not too sure what's going on there. Inter Milan scam Marcelo Conceicao 100 million, take him on loan for themselves, buy him back for 30 mil, sell him to Saudi. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely see it. Lukaku is crybaby and needs to go. Yeah, no, he absolutely needs to go. He's not coming back to Chelsea, so it's just a matter of when a deal is going to be struck and who that deal is going to ultimately be struck with. That's all it's going to come down to. And I think in the next few days this should be wrapped up, people. But it's good that he's not coming back to the training ground for sure. It just avoids all the media spotlight kind of on the training ground, and perhaps distracting from the sort of the good work that is going on the training ground as we gear up towards the rest of the season. Inter and Lukaku and cahoots, scammers. Yeah, I mean, yeah, both of them have well and truly mugged us off. There's no two ways about it. He said he only wants Inter, so Chelsea are forced to accept a lower bid. Maybe I'm not sure. Yeah, mate, value has gone down and down and down. But yeah, that's kind of the latest on Lukaku, is that there are 3 clubs that are interested: a club in Saudi, Juventus, and Inter Milan. Inter Milan's offer is the lowest of the 3, but negotiations continue, and hopefully a deal is met in the coming days, because this Lukaku situation is so tiresome. It's so boring. It's been dragged out. We just need to get it done, get as much money back from him as we can, and just move on from him and forget that this deal ever took place in the first place. Ojo, no, I don't see this deal happening at all, because swap deals in football barely ever happen. And I certainly don't see that happening either, because Lukaku doesn't want to go to Juventus. I don't know if Vlahovic necessarily wants to come to Chelsea either. So, yeah, look, I will, of course, accept it, but there's no way it's happening. Never wanted to do transfer business with Inter Milan after... No. I agree on that front. Why don't we just say to Lukaku, you can go anywhere but Inter? Well, because it's ultimately the player holds the power. You know, you can agree a deal with a club, but they've got the final say on whether they wish to leave or not. And it's quite clear that he does not wish to leave. So yeah, that's where we're at with Lukaku. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens with him. I think a deal will be agreed with Inter Milan at some point, but yeah, we just gotta roll with it. Just sit tight, be patient. We'll come to an agreement probably with Inter at some point for a deal that we are happy with, and then we can move on from the Lukaku saga, guys. We absolutely can. Moving away from Romelu Lukaku, people, let's talk on the Kepa situation before we move into the Frank Lampard stuff. So, Juve must be in real financial trouble if they want to sell Vlahovic. He was a star signing only. Yeah, I think he's been there a little bit more than a year, but not long. Yeah, I think they paid 80 million euros, so about 75 million pounds for him from Fiorentina, which is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But yeah, guys, let's move on from that point. Let's move on briefly to the Kepa situation. Now, there's only one report. It's not really been backed up anywhere else. Kepa being considered by PSG alongside Hugo Lloris and David De Gea. Now, again, I'm not sure if this would be as a first choice goalkeeper or if this would be as a backup goalkeeper. Because I look at someone like Hugo Lloris, David De Gea. Are they really good enough to go and play first choice of PSG? Are they better than Donnarumma at this stage of their careers, or just in general? You'd have to say no. Is Kepa better than Donnarumma? No, absolutely not. So I'm not really sure where this story has come from. If there's perhaps unrest with Donnarumma at PSG, maybe he's looking for a way out. Maybe he's not happy potentially at the club. I'm not really too sure. But this sort of strikes me as a little bit of a nothing story. It really does. I just don't see how they would legitimately be interested in signing Kepa. I just don't see it. I really don't. So, you know, I know people got it, sort of people that don't like Kepa got pretty excited by this. Oh yeah, maybe he'll go to PSG. Let's just, if a big comes in there, let's just get rid of him. I would be sitting here right now at this point in time, I would be shocked if Kepa did leave for PSG and a legitimate offer came in. I think it's very clear that Pochettino rates Kepa highly. He wants him to be the number one this season. So yeah, unless a big offer comes in and Kepa's swayed, then I don't envisage a situation where Kepa is not at Chelsea for the upcoming season. I just don't see that as a possibility. I really don't. So yeah, let's see on that front. There's not really that much more to add on it. There's been no real links or there's been no real updates on the goalkeeping front at all over well, really for the last week or so. There's not really been anything mentioned at all. So yeah, I suppose it kind of is what it is on that one. There's no real, yeah, there isn't really anything to say. There really isn't anything to say on that front, really. You know, we absolutely do need a new goalkeeper. We absolutely need to improve upon Kepa. But I personally don't see that happening this summer. I think it'll be a number 2 goalkeeper that comes in, maybe after pre-season. And yeah, and then we go from there, and then maybe we reassess the number 1 situation next summer rather than this summer. But yeah, I do think this is a little bit of a nonsense article because Kepa's back in pre-season. Pochettino is obviously a fan of his, is going to assess him, wants him to be the number 1 at this point in time. So yeah, I'm not really sure where this story's come from. And to be honest, in my opinion, I don't really think there's an awful lot of legs in it. If we're being totally honest with ourselves here. So yeah, you know, there were links with Kepa to PSG. Some Chelsea fans are saying we want Dele Alli to Chelsea. Yeah, no, I totally disagree. I absolutely disagree. Ali at this point in time is an unknown quantity on a football pitch. He's not been good since 2018, really. So yeah, it's no. Yeah, Moreira was confirmed a while ago. We've had first pictures dropping just now on Twitter of Moreira. We must keep Colwell. Losing him after just selling Mount would be disastrous. Yeah, but look, the thing I would say about Levi Colwell is Chelsea are in their prime position here, because yes, we want to get him tied down to a long-term deal, but he's got 2 years left on his contract, and there's an option for a third based on appearances or something like that in the second season. So, this is not an urgent situation for Chelsea. So yeah, it's not like we've got to get this done this summer. We just have to make sure that we get it done at some point. But there absolutely isn't a rush per se on the Colwell situation. Like, he's out of contract next year, and we've got to get him tied down, otherwise he goes on a free. It's all good, really. Liverpool open talks with Brighton for Caicedo. Reports say, what reports are those? I've not seen that anywhere. We don't need one there as Kepa. Poch trusts him. Stronger defense for now, and later we can put Salinia as number one. Possibly. Let's wait and see. Also, Fabrizio mentioned PSG are happy with Donnarumma and is not for sale. Yeah, we're not going to swap him for Kepa. I just think this is a bit of a nonsense story that has, quite frankly, kind of appeared out of nowhere. I don't know where that story's come from. I really got absolutely no idea at all. I really don't. It all depends on Colwell's mentality. He should be aware at Chelsea it's always going to be competitive and no guarantee for starts. It's going to be no guarantee for starts at Liverpool, no guarantee for starts at Manchester City. So yeah, I'm not really sure what he's expecting. Obviously at Brighton he'd be a guaranteed starter, but yeah, look, I think at Chelsea he plays a lot of football next season. I really do think that, and the club stance has always been the same. He is not for sale. And Brighton so far are the only team that have put any official offers in. I think they did 2 bids, one for 30 and one for 40 million pounds, both rejected outright, as you would expect. So yeah, look, I don't see Colwell going anywhere for sure. I don't see him going anywhere. But yeah, this Kepa thing, as I was saying, yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know what's going on. Where this story's come from, but I'd be shocked if Kepa wasn't at Chelsea next season. He absolutely would be. City would also go, well, possibly Nizar Kinsella saying, but again, he's not for sale. So it's kind of very simple. City, if they want to go for him, can, but he's not for sale. No, he wasn't even a regular start. I think he played 16 or 17 Premier League games for Brighton last season. So he didn't start every game. And I would expect at Chelsea he might play a similar amount of games that he played at Brighton last season potentially. But yeah, look, Chelsea are in as I was saying, in the prime position. So yeah, look, he's got 2 years left on his contract. Chelsea's got an option for a third. So yeah, this is not an emergency to tie him down right now. But if we can get him tied down right now, then it puts the speculation to bed, and it certainly makes the situation that much easier as well for us. Brubetto, big up from Iceland. Hope you're doing well. Let's not pretend here that Kepa is some kind of Sunday League goalkeeper. Yeah, exactly. We can do perfectly well with Kepa next season. And this is what I've been saying all along. And people saying that, where's your standards? Like, people need to realise that last season Kepa wasn't the reason that we were dog shit. Yeah, he made a few mistakes, but generally speaking, the defense was good last season. We're in the top 5 in the Premier League for goals conceded in terms of least goals conceded. Sorry, and Kepa was very important for us last season. What's Kepa's value? That's a good question. I don't really know what his value is. I don't know how many years he's got left on a contract. Probably at least 2, maybe 3. I don't know. Is Kepa worth 40 million pounds? Maybe 40, 45 million potentially. I'm not really sure. It's a good question. It's one that I don't really know the answer to. I'd probably say maybe around 40 million. I would guess. I would guess that maybe around the 40 million pounds mark is what Kepa would be worth. But yeah, for what it's worth, guys, I think that story is is a little bit of a nonsense. Yeah, we were terrible up top last season, absolutely awful, like we have been for the last few seasons. But yeah, that's the latest on Kepa. No real updates on any incomings in the goalkeeping department at this point in time either, guys. Right, let's have a quick look at new signing Diego Moreira in the new Chelsea strip. Here he is. Diego Moreira is at Chelsea. I'd love to know where that green wall is. I wonder where that is. Is it the training ground? I don't know where it is. But yeah, obviously there he is. Moreira, the 18-year-old, has joined from Benfica. That deal was done a while ago. And here are the first sort of official pictures of him in the new shirt. It just looks so much better. It looks so much better with no sponsor on it. It just looks so much better. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's wait and see what happens. So we'll be able to buy these shirts like this. Hopefully we can, but I'm not sure. Who will be our striker next season? I think obviously it'll be. I think Broja, Jackson, and Nkunku will rotate in that role. Are we going to get someone else in? I'm not sure. And that's the big question. And I think if we do get someone else in, it'll be one of Kolo Muani, Dusan Vlahovic, or Lautaro Martinez. But I don't expect any movement on any new strikers to happen until after pre-season. And that's the reality of where we are at this point in time, guys. That is the reality of the situation. Kepa is valued under 20 million. Yeah, he's obviously Chelsea wouldn't. He's obviously worth more than that. I'm not sure how transfer marks value players, but yeah, Chelsea certainly wouldn't accept 20 million quid for him. Would love to see Samsung back. Yes, those were the good kits though. Just Samsung or Samsung Mobile as well. Back in the early to mid 2000s was also absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I hope maybe they would come back. Who knows? But yeah. The kit definitely does hit differently with no sponsor. It just looks so much better. It just looks way better. But yeah, anyway, can't wait to see Nkunku in a Chelsea shirt. Yeah, you're disappointed with his announcement. But to be fair, they probably filmed it ages ago. I'm thinking they probably filmed it quite a while back. I mean, I could be wrong on that front, but I reckon they did potentially film that quite a while ago. So yeah, that's Diego Moreira, another one that either could go on loan potentially or will be involved in the under 21s. But yeah, I don't know how good he is really. I think he's obviously talented, but I don't know an awful lot about him. I would expect him to be loaned out or play a part in the development sides at Chelsea before trying to forge his way into the first team. Right then, guys, let's move on to this Frank Lampard stuff. Keep smashing the likes, people. I know the numbers aren't that great today. It's a different time. There's other people streaming as well. It's not the best. But please do continue to run those likes. I've only 22 likes on my channel. Let's try and get that to at least 30 if we can, guys. So yeah, please do smash the likes on this one, people. Get those likes up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And let's get into Frank Lampard. He's been speaking the Diary of a CEO podcast with Stephen Bartlett, talking about his career, his time at Chelsea and whatnot. And he's been speaking about the new owners and all that sort of thing. So let's have a look at this then. So Lampard himself saying, talking about the new ownerships, and actually slightly critical of the previous ownership. Not everything was perfect before the new ownership. I was there before the new ownership as well. To find consistency at Chelsea, as Chelsea would really want, of winning Premier League titles and challenging, has been a good few years now. It absolutely has. Now, I think this is not, people love to blame the new owners, but this is a mess that started under the previous regime and has kind of just been snowballing. And unfortunately, these new owners were the ones to arrive on the scene and for this mess to sort of unfold. Even if Roman was still in charge, I still think last season perhaps wouldn't have been as bad as it turned out to be, but I still think it would have been a pretty poor season. Something like this has been waiting to happen for a number of years. There's no getting away from it. Something has been waiting to happen for a number of years on this front. And Lampard is absolutely right. People seem to make out that everything was perfect under Roman. It absolutely wasn't. A lot of mistakes were made. Poor investment in terms of signings, money spent, real waste of money in a lot of areas. And things weren't done properly either. So people that just always blame the new ownership, yes, they made mistakes last season, but a lot of the blame has to lie at the previous regime's door. And there's no denying that. That's not me picking sides or anything. That's just the truth and the reality of the situation. That is what we're facing. But he was also speaking about one thing that Lampard has been good at is his his talent ID is very good. No two ways about it. So Lampard also saying on the news their intentions to do a good job at Chelsea are amazing. They want to take the club and be the best. They have great intentions. They've spent that money because they want to do well. Lampard and judging recruitment owners to overjudge now when I think they have signed some good players would be to be overcritical. So look, the intention for the new owners I think is clear. This is from Lampard himself. He's been in at the club, spoken to the owners. And look, I think people that say the owners are only there to make money. Well, the possibly true to make money, of course, but ultimately the way you make money is by being successful and winning. So first and foremost, you want to win, and that way you make more money. And ultimately, this investment fund that's obviously fronted up by Bowley, Iqbali, etc. They spent a lot of money on this football club. They're going to want it to do well. They haven't become successful businessmen by, investing in flops or not making things work. So, yeah, look, absolutely. I think the owners' intentions are right. I think that, their hearts are in the right place on this one. They want the club to do well. And it's just a case of time now. We just got to play this one out, see what happens. But the intentions are absolutely there to win. And for the club to do well, and that's absolutely what I thought. What I always thought. I know people don't like change. Change is difficult, but this is a different Chelsea now. We're going in a different direction. Pochettino's here. We're going down a new sort of recruitment route, and let's see. Let's kind of wait and see what happens on that front. But yeah, it's a really fascinating interview with Lampard. So yeah, I do urge you to go and listen to it. It's just under 2 hours long. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on YouTube, whatever. I really do urge you to go and listen to it because it is a great listen with loads of great stuff from Super Frank. In there, he also talked about saying that he wanted the board to sign Declan Rice, but it didn't happen. We knew Lampard always wanted Declan Rice, and it's a shame that they either didn't listen to him or that wasn't acted upon that interest. But yeah, it is what it is. There's no point looking back now, but yeah, it's a really good interview, guys. So I do urge you to go and listen to it if you can, people. I really do urge that. What in terms of other news, what else have we got popping off here? But I don't know. Any further news on this one today? No, not a lot going on. Christian Pulisic obviously had his medical. That deal's very close to being finalised. But yeah, guys, I've probably got about 10 more minutes, people. Frank Lampard spoke so brilliantly in this interview, then all of his pre- and post-match press conferences. Yeah, he'd be a fantastic pundit. I know he's done a bit of punditry, but he speaks so well. He's so intelligent. He's very articulate. But yeah, guys, I've got about 10 minutes and I've got to shoot off. Does anyone want to come on and have a say? I can pop the link in the chat. We can get a few minutes say from a few people. Who's up for that, guys? Let me know in the chat. Are you keen to come on and have a say? You don't have to switch your camera or anything like that if you don't want to. But if you want me to pop the link in the chat, guys, and you want to jump on for a quick sort of 4 or 5 minutes, a couple of you before I've got to round this one out, then let me know in the chat and I will place the link in there and you can come on and have your say, guys. So please do let me know on that front. It'd be great to speak to you guys. I know you always interact in the chat, but if anyone wants to come on the stream with me and get something off their chest, a discussion point surrounding Chelsea, guys, then let me know in the chat. Don't be shy. Get involved. I've got about 10 minutes that I've got to shoot. So last 10 minutes, if anyone wants to jump in, let me know. And I'll post the link in the chat, guys. He can become our sporting director. He did try to sign Rice and Hard. Yeah, look, Lampard for sure. I think would be great in an ambassadorial role, in a boardroom role. a director at some point in his career. I still think he wants to make a success of management. And look, I've been very critical of Lampard's management, but ultimately everything he's done, he's made a success of. So I think, he'll be desperate to make a success of himself as a manager. So yeah, look, I don't see him stepping into a role at Chelsea anytime soon per se, but absolutely there should be a role for him at Chelsea at this point in time. So yeah, I think it's. Look, I think Lampard would do really well behind the scenes at Chelsea. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens on that front. But guys, I do urge you to go and listen to it because it is a really good interview with Frank Lampard. So yeah, please do go and do that. Yeah, I mean, Rice and Enzo would have been fantastic, but unfortunately, it just isn't happening. It just isn't happening. But yeah, guys, that invitation's still there. If anyone wants to jump on for the last 10 minutes, have a bit of a chat, you don't have to switch your cameras on or anything like that. If you wish to come on, people, then let me know and I will post in the chat. If no one wants to say anything, then I'll carry on speaking about a few bits and pieces. But yeah, guys, if you do want to come on, let me know in the chat and I will drop the link in there and we can get a couple of you on in the last 10 minutes, guys, if you wish to do so. Been no takers yet, so yeah, I presume not that keen, people, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, look, I think that the main consensus here is that it's frustrating. Things are moving slowly, but yeah, I mean, let's wait and see what happens. But there's some good insight here. Let's have a quick look. Would you take David De Gea? No, I wouldn't personally. I think he's on a downward spiral in his career at this point in time, and I just don't think a move for David De Gea makes any sense at all at this point in time. So yeah, it's a no from me. What have we got here? This one, yeah. So this is a little bit of a thing from Azar Cancella. Article: Pochettino is keen to have a homegrown core to his team with Reece James, Levi Colwell, Armando Broja, and Conor Gallagher among those set to benefit next season. They're deemed important to establishing a new club culture following last season's dismal 12th place finish. And I think that's the most important thing, is that we begin to establish a new culture, because I think the culture at the club seems to be a bit lost. There doesn't really seem to necessarily be a culture at Chelsea at this point in time anymore. And we've got to do something to get that culture back, that winning culture, that never say die attitude for the badge, doing everything it takes to try and win on the pitch, always giving it 110%. And to sort of have a core of guys these guys have all come through the academy. And whatever you think of them as players, some very good footballers there, and Reece James, Colwell, Broja, potential, Conor Gallagher, who I think can still do a decent job. Like, it's really important that you do have a group of players that live and breathe the club, have come through the ranks, know exactly what it means for Chelsea. They get the club. They just understand everything surrounding it. So I think this is really important. And you look back over the years when Chelsea have been very successful, and the core of the players that we've had, when you go back, you had Petr Cech, John Terry, Lampard, Ashley Cole, Drogba, Ballack, Essien. All these guys, like, I'm not saying it's a homegrown core, but you had a strong core of players that were ever present in the team, mentality monsters, understood exactly what it took to win. And we obviously we didn't necessarily have kind of any guys necessarily from the academy other than JT, but like, if we can get a bit of a homegrown core going, guys that understand the club, have been through the ranks, really appreciate what it means to play for Chelsea. They just get what it means for Chelsea. Obviously, the foreign lads will obviously give it their all, and they'll understand what it means to play for the club, but they'll never get it like the likes of these players will, because they've not been here from day one and come through all the ranks and know exactly what it means, to play for the club. And that is really important. Really, really important that we do have that. Now, I think Pochettino is going to have to establish a new culture. I think he's more than capable of establishing that culture. But like with anything, these things take time. To establish a culture is going to take a little bit. It's going to take a little bit of time. But yeah, I'm confident that he can absolutely do it. I really am. I really am confident that he can do it. You know, he's got to form this, you know, core of players. He's got to try and find a new identity for the club, and then we move from there. But I think it's definitely exciting times. No two ways about it. Really exciting times at the club. So yeah, do you know what? It's loads to look forward to, people. Loads to look forward to. Guys, hit the like button. Yeah, about to round this one up, but as Blue Empire say, guys, make sure you keep hitting the like button. I know the numbers have not been good today. We've obviously earlier time than usual because I've had to do it a bit earlier. I've got Lewis streaming as well. Probably people still at work and stuff. Not an optimal time to be streaming, unfortunately, and the numbers really aren't that good today. But for those of you that are here, big up to yourselves. Massively appreciate it. Please do hit the like button, guys. It is really, really appreciated. And make sure you subscribe to the channels if you haven't done so already, people. I'm not too sure if there's that much else to go through. Has anyone got any last minute questions in the chat before I round this one out and have to crack on with what I've got to do, people? But yeah, as any last minute questions in the chat, anything anyone wants to discuss, then do let me know, people. And otherwise, I will look to round this one out, guys. Say, look, there's not been an awful lot to go through today. There's not been that much news, nowhere near as much news as the last couple of days. So I appreciate this one's a little bit shorter than usual. But yeah, there's nowhere near as much stuff to go through. Not as many as you locked in, so not as much interaction as always. So yeah, look, guys, I'm probably going to round this one out here. So people, please, on your way out, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It would be massively appreciated. There's 83 of us locked in across both channels. If the majority of you could click the subscribe button to my channel, I would really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to hit 4,000 subscribers before the start of the season. We're well on our way there, just over 300 more to go now. So every subscriber helps. So please do subscribe to my channel on the way out if you can, guys. I would greatly appreciate it. Make sure you run the likes up as well. Guys, I'm not going to be back until Sunday evening now. I'm away for the next couple of days, Friday and Saturday. I'll be back Sunday evening and we'll be back in with the stream on Sunday evening. So hopefully whilst I'm away, nothing too much, no major news happens. If major news does happen, I'll try and get a little pre-recorded video out if I can, if it is major news. But hopefully nothing major happens whilst I'm away. I'll be back Sunday. Make sure on your way out, people, you smash the likes on both channels. You subscribe to both channels. Link to my channel is in the chat for those of you that wish to subscribe. And I would really, really appreciate it. Can't stress it enough. And yeah, guys, until then, I'll catch you on Sunday. Enjoy the next couple of days. Hopefully nothing major happens whilst I'm away. But yeah, guys, make sure you enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good Friday. Have a good Saturday. I'll be back Sunday. Smash the like, subscribe on your way out, and I'll catch you again soon. Up the Chelsea and peace out, people.